Hello, everyone, and welcome to our on-demand product tutorial for Mission Control. We're here today to give you a little bit of a walkthrough for the first couple of features that we've launched recently. And yeah, my name is Mike. I'm a platform PMM here at Staffbase, and I am joined today by Julian, Julian, if you want to say hi briefly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julian. I'm from the Customer Success Enablement team at Staffbase. I've been with Staffbase for 7 years and really excited to show you some of the mission control features.
Nice. With that, let's move to the next slide and take a look at what has changed at Staffbase recently. If you might have seen this, but Staffbase has a new vision that's really focused on inspiration. And this sounds great, but what does inspiration really mean? At Staffbase, we believe comms is more than just a distribution channel. We see comms actually in the unique position to move companies because communicators are the ones that can actually move hearts and minds. So if we move to the next slide, why do communicators need a navigation system? Moving hearts and minds today can actually be extremely difficult. And what we believe is that communicators actually need a navigation system to do this, because moving hearts and minds is essentially getting your organization from A to B. So we have introduced a product which we are calling Mission Control to really help you unlock the true potential of comms. And if you take a second to just think about all of the good navigation systems out there, for example, Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, and there might be some more niche players that you're using, a good navigation system really does two things. First of all, it helps you plan your route and execute that route so that you have an actionable plan to get your organization from A to B. And second of all, it helps you track progress and then also course correct so that you know whether or not you're on track to reach your goals. And with Mission Control, we have built exactly this, but for communications. So let's take a look at how Mission Control supports this on the next slide. Staffbase is introducing a new layer to its platform, which I already mentioned. It's called Mission Control, which really acts as a single source of truth to navigate your comms activities towards success. You can use Mission Control for planning, for co-creating, publishing, and analyzing content across all of your teams and channels, including Staffbase, social media, and also custom channels that you might want to plug in. Staffbase Smart Impact then also helps you measure the success of all of your comms activities with a very innovative approach to outcome-based and also topic-level reporting so that you can prove the real impact of your communications. Staffbase Mission Control is a more strategic version of our existing Staffbase Studio, which, if you haven't heard of it yet, it's the content management system for Staffbase and is available as a separate package and currently also in beta for you to test if you're an app and internet customer. How does this interact with our other employee channels that we offer? In combination with our employee channels, which help you build a digital home base for both your frontline and desk workers, Staffbase now has a unique approach within the market, which helps you balance both operational and the more strategic side of communications using one single platform with one single login. So before we dive into the actual walkthrough with Julien, what can Mission Control really do? And this is also going to be my last slide. If we move to the next one, Mission Control is really, you can think about it as a comms management workflow to get everyone aligned, engaged, and working towards common goals. This workflow consists of 3 steps, which Julien will also run you through some of the first features in each of those buckets. And those buckets are planning, co-creation, and measurement. In planning, we're giving teams tools to support them in planning comms aligned to strategic goals. In this bucket, you can digitize your comms strategy, plan all of your communications in line with strategic topics like sustainability, diversity, equity, inclusion, innovation, and whatever else is important to your company. You can do all of this in one central location. Co-execution, co-creation, which is then the second bucket, helps you execute the plan that you have set up during planning. You can bring all your communicators across teams and channels together to work on one consistent message. And we have a set of integrated collaboration and workflow features to keep your messaging aligned across teams and channels. And last but not least, we have measurement. So while you are already planning and executing, Staffbase Smart Impact helps you track and course correct the performance of your strategic comms. We deliver outcome-based insights using a whole new set of metrics, including sentiment and alignment, and that not just on a content piece level, but aggregated on a campaign and topic level. With that, just a brief introduction of the world of mission control and that we're about to dive into. And I'm going to hand over to Julien to show you more.
Thank you very much, Mike. That was super insightful, and I hope I will make the best out of this demo environment. So we will have some slides to actually go over the different features. The slides are provided also as a file for the on-demand webinar. Most of the part will be going into the demo environment, so we can really interact with the platform and help you navigate with the different features of mission control. First of all, this is how we want to start, because we think this is the biggest milestone that editorial teams can be working with. It's the campaign feature. The campaign feature is a mission control feature. It's directly linked to the planning environment into the Staffbase Studio. And just to give you a little bit of background, what are campaigns? Because they are a little bit different than what you used to be working with when you approach news. You have generally news posts, you have generally news channels, which are targeted to different user groups or different audiences. And you have to work only with this into the Staffbase Studio as of now. Now, with the campaign level, you're able to actually strategize, but also directly lay down the foundation of all the different posts in all the different channels that you want to reach, and just go with executing a plan directly from the campaign level. So this is the first part, is level up your content strategy. With campaigns, you can streamline all the setting, tracking, and analyzing the content goals. You have also a topic-based thinking. So the campaign is more something to think about topics. It's just an aggregation of news posts that you have to deliver, and you have to think about it. So this is really a lightweight approach that helps you to actually go over lightweight different topics like return to the office or sustainability, but you can have a huge campaign that could be flexible enough to actually embrace a lot of different articles in a very large time span. And the idea of the campaign, once you have set up the campaign, is that you have access to really a different level of audience reach. You can really measure the impact of your communication if you are using the layer of the campaigns. What is good to know, you have access to campaigns are really accessible for system-wide editors and up. So you already know some of the standard access from Staffbase roles. Administrators, managing editor, and system-wide editor have access directly to the campaign. And if you want to have the space administrator as a decentralized organization, and you are working with a lot of space admins, you are also able to on demand ask for campaign decentral permission, which is a feature that we can activate. So you can just reach out to your customer success manager to activate this feature that the campaign is also accessible for space administrator. It's not only about planning. I already did mention it in the last little sentence. It's really important that when you think about the campaign, you're laying down the most important foundation to actually be able to gather and measure a lot of different insight from your audience that helps you correct the course of any kind of campaigns that you are doing. And as Mike already noticed in his overview, this is really where you would be able to actually navigate and change the course of a different topic based on the insight of your audience. So if you struggle with cross-channel analytics, and you have to measure different kind of posts that are dispersed in your Staffbase Studio, if you don't know exactly how to report back to your CSO with the comms performance of all IT security news posts, and if you want to actually know how well a campaign is received, which embrace a large wide of articles over time, campaign is made for you, and campaign is the layer foundation for having access to those metrics. So the first part that you would be doing would be to create a campaign that fits one of your topics that you are already actually doing right now. associate all relevant articles across all the different channels directly from the campaign overview. You have to wait a little bit of time. We have to process the data from all those published articles. It's a 24 hours span, and then you would be able to access the analytics to actually report directly on those new insights and see how it can be performing for different stakeholders in your company. Now that we have seen a little bit of this, let's jump directly into our demo environment. Mike, you're welcome also to intervene. This is really also something that we want to be interactive as we go over the demo. So welcome to the Connect environment. This is our demo. You might have seen it during your meetings with our customer success manager. I just navigated directly into the studio, which is the place where you have access to different tabs. We have a lot of different features that you might not have been activated for you. But this is really to show you where to get the insights of the campaign features. First of all, you click on the planning. And when you click on the planning, you are directly into the editorial calendar. We will show a little bit more what about the editorial calendar, but you have a first sight of what are the campaigns and how they are displayed into the editorial calendar. The first of all, you have access to this layer of all the active campaign during this week. And I'm able actually to click directly on the label of the campaign to have a little bit more insight about the start date of the campaign, the end date of the campaign, a little bit of description. The description could be objective-based or outcome-based, or really just an introduction for the different people that have access to the campaign. I have access directly here to the campaign details to navigate directly from the editorial calendar to the campaign overview about the sustainability campaign. I have access to different campaigns that are available, and I will be using the first one over here to navigate directly from the editorial calendar to this specific campaign. You have a different way to access the campaign, which is this little button, which is the campaign overview with all the different campaigns that are available in the studio that you have created before that. You can also expand the menu to see all the different campaigns that are available with different metrics that are there. Let me jump into the Connect sustainability campaign. And now that I'm navigating directly into it, I have a better understanding what is how it is composed with different campaigns. You have a list of all the articles that are associated with the campaign. Some of them are draft articles, some of them are published articles, and you might see different kind of labels going up over there. You have a top level, which indicate the start date, the end date, but also the active state. So we are right now in the middle of the campaign. You have access directly to aggregated metrics coming from all the posts that are already published. And you have seen over here 16 posts, 365 visits for all the posts that are associated with it, 40 reaction and 15 comments, which are all aggregated from all the different articles. And each article have also some of the metrics directly associated with it. With a little bit more information, as you have seen, I'm not using a campaign with only one channel, which is the Carbon Zero News. I have the possibility on this layer of the campaign to actually see different articles from different news channels that are associated with the campaign. So we are very much at a higher level only for the editorial team. It's not impacting the publication. It's not impacting the audience. So your employee will not see that a post is part of a campaign. This is only for you a new way of aggregating news and working with news. And this is why this is very, very super interesting to work with campaign directly from the start. You have directly also on the top of it access to different kind of action. You have the ability to edit, delete a campaign, and create a new post directly from the campaign overview. So you don't have to navigate where you normally be going with the content view and then search for your news channel and then open a new post over there. This is still possible. Of course, you can do this, but directly from the planning, you are skipping a lot of different way of navigating through where you want to actually act. You have the possibility directly from the campaign to actually create new posts, and lay down the foundation of your information. You have the possibility to create a new post, selecting the news channel that you want to have. It's a powerful search, so you have the possibility to select the news channel that you want to see. You have the possibility to add directly a title. A teaser text is always welcome. This is really super important. And in the case of campaign, it's also super interesting to see how the customers have providing feedback already. Some of them are laying down some news with some a little briefing. I know we have a briefing features that will be incoming a little bit later, but for now, this is also when you lay down those kind of information, you can also in the teaser text just explain a little bit why this post is related to the campaign, what is the objective of this post, part of the campaign. And this is really super interesting to lay down this foundation directly from the campaign overview. Select a date. Don't be worried, you are not scheduling a post directly from here. You are actually drafting a post, and the scheduling and the publication will remain directly into the news channel overview. So let's select an hour. It will be perfect for 3:30. And I will create a new article directly associated with the campaign. So as you have seen, I'm navigating directly from the campaign overview to creating articles, navigating to the articles directly without going to the content, news channel space, or if you have this layer of space, and I'm directly over here in the overview of writing the article and participate. Now let's go a little bit back. And when I'm navigating back, coming from a campaign, I'm not going back to the news channel overview. I'm going back directly to the campaign overview. So this navigation feature is also directly embedded into the product, and our product managers really define a new way of navigating through news and helping the editors to lay down a new foundation for news. Let's go back. As you have seen, I created the first article, which is I'm super excited about. The first level, I would say, is to create a campaign. We already say that to you. This is not something that is automatically created from the studio. This is something that you have to create, that you can create even if the posts are already published. It's totally fine. You can start leveraging campaign to actually gather some metrics about your already published news. But this is also a way of organizing your publication that are incoming. So you're free to use campaign for your upcoming communication, but you're also free to use campaign to actually gather insights of your audience with already pre-published posts. Let's do this. I have a request from my CSO, and I have to create a campaign linked to IT security topic. That would be my first generic thing. And I have prepared, I think, also a little bit of a campaign goal. So I need to reduce the phishing attempt, email attempt, and raise awareness for employees in my next survey. So the last numbers that we got were below 50% of awareness, and now we want to increase this for more than 10%. It's not part of the campaign to actually directly work on this, but it's the result of the survey that will happen in 3 months. We'll have the possibility to measure if my campaign with all the different publications that I've drafted have an impact on my audience, and if we need to correct the course of some people or some groups or some location didn't have read any articles. That will help me to target more communication directly for those locations and increase the number of the next survey. And this is the kind of insight that will help me as an editorial team to be part of the roundtable with my IT security and CSO to report back on those metrics. Now, let's start it for yesterday. This is basically something that any comms people know that we have to start from yesterday, and it should be already there. And the next survey is coming up in 3 months, so I can already notice that I can have an end date for my campaign. I will be able to select the color. And now that I have set up this first overview, I am able to actually save it, and the new campaign can be searched directly from here. and can be started to be worked on. I have IT security. This is the one that I just created. I have 0 post, 0 visit, reaction, and comment. This is an active one because my time frame is actually the right one. I can click on it and I can start working with this one with creating posts, but also adding posts that are already published because we already started this kind of communication. Now, let's go back into the editorial view. I can see that my IT security, I may have to change the color just to make a little bit of differentiation with diversity and inclusion, but I have this overview directly from here, and I can start working directly from the campaign overview. Now, let's do some adding articles to the campaign. I have to find back some articles that were already published looking at this topic. And for this one, for the moment, I have to still go into the content and news channel and highlight the news channel that I know already have some posts. I can navigate to the posts that are already published. And let's say that this one is already part of the campaign that I want to assign. I know it's not so fancy for the moment, but I have the possibility to actually go to the campaign label and assign the campaign that I just created, which is the IT security. I can save, and now I can navigate back to the IT security campaign. Let's do it this way because I'm just avoiding one navigation step. And I can see that this article is already counted in all the metrics over here. And it's a published article. And I can already be counting this article for my metrics when the data will be processed by Smart Impact. Now that we have seen the campaign overview, and before we go back to the slides, because we have some more news to come, looking at the content review, which is also a mission control feature, I want to really look at how we navigate from this overview directly to the co-creation. So we already seen a little bit of planning, as explained by Mike, and we are now navigating directly into the co-creation. Imagine that I'm laying down one news post. IT security is my news channel. I have an IT security migration, and we have over here migration strategy, which is part of the mitigation for IT security. I have an article. I can put any kind of teaser text. I would be able to actually plan the publication. And now let's move it to this time frame. I have now 2 articles, one I just created and one that is already published. Let's navigate directly from here to the article that I just created. If you share the article with different editors, so maybe you have channel editors that are working directly with this news channel, and you just lay down a foundation for a new article that needs to be done by a certain date. You can now include this into your editorial meeting and discuss with the different people that are working on the article. And I just moved from the strategy level to the co-creation part of it. Now that I have my teaser text, now that I put some information directly from here, I would be able to actually share the article with a list of people that I consider as the subject matter expert for this topic. And I will be looking at different people in my organization. I will go with John Connect is my media asset. I can send the invitation. And as you see, when I send the invitation, John Connect is invited to the review page of this article. I have a list over here, and I will have actually different people that I want to add. So let's find all of them, and Isabella, and send the invitation. Now I send the invitation to three different subject matter experts linked on this article. It could be that John is the media asset, will help me with creating media asset for the article. Isabella is maybe more the subject matter expert from the IT security team that have access to the content, and I want her to be able to review the article. And Paulo Connect might help for translation in different languages. Now I've noticed them directly with the share post. I send an email invitation to actually collaborate on this article. Now that I've done this part of sharing the article, I can go back to the list I can remove some of the people. Of course, the link to the email will not be working if you remove the people from the review page. Now that I lay down the foundation of with whom I'm able to collaborate, I'm able directly from the studio, because I have access to it, to mention them and actually notify them about what exactly do I want to do with them. Isabella, can you lay down the first draft of the article in English? So it could be extensive. You can add as many text as you want, but here I would be able to mention one person by any content review. And I have a list of tasks that I can define for Isabella. The first one would be to assign the task to Isabella. The second part would be to request an approval for Isabella. I will not be able to combine both of them for the moment. This is really the start of the article. I don't want to request any approval for this. I will just assign this task for Isabella. I can save it. And now every people that are working with the review page have access to a preview page. They don't have access to the channel editor. They don't have access to the content of the article by themselves. They will be able to actually write comment, but also see every comment and notification that are laid down in this column. So they have access to all the information that I created, and they are able also as John Connect and Paula Connect to leave their own comment and actually say to me and notify me when the article is ready, did they do something, is there a blocker, etc., etc. And I would be able to actually, at this point, use a prompt, because this is our new AI companion. Write me a post about IT security, which is not a feature from Mission Control, but this is a really, really super interesting thing for demo environment. I'm able to actually generate the text just to show you how it could be working. Now that I have laid down an article, and I may choose also something from my files that are already over here. Let me reuse this media asset that is already a part of it. I can now get back to Isabella and ask her an approval. Now that I have sent this information, all the editors see this, that there is a pending approval from Isabella. So they have done and delivered their work, and we are just waiting for Isabella to actually say yes, no. This approval is not a blocking, so I still have access to the publishing information over here. I can still schedule the article to go out at a certain date, but our expectation for the moment with the non-blocking is that every content review are kind of clear up, and Isabella have said this is really good to go. And then at this point, all the editors would be able to actually schedule the post for the publication. We just covered a little bit inside the product, the content review part and the navigation from the planning perspective. I hope it was super helpful for you. I hope you are testing it. And before you're living up with the content review features, I just want to highlight a little bit more about the information that we just went through with the content review. We just have seen that you have some prerequisite to have. Of course, you need to have a news channel that is already laid down and is already working. You need to have a first draft or the article that is saved. So this is really, really important. That's why starting with the campaign, you already have a saved draft in the news channel. But you can also start from the news channel, save a draft, and at this moment, you can share all the information and all the preview page for the different reviewers. The reviewer needs to be a registered user with an email address. So really be careful about this, because when you notify somebody, the email notification is going to his email address that is informed into the Staffbase Studio. And the reviewer needs to have the visibility over the news channel. It doesn't need to have access to the studio environment, but they need to be able to actually be part of the audience that will receive the article once it is published. If you're using all employee space and your news channel is not targeted, then all your employees that have access to Staffbase have the possibility to be reviewers. But if you are targeting a communication for the Berlin office, then your reviewer needs to be part also of the audience of the Berlin office. Good to know. All channel types are supported with content review, so you can actually use type articles, type updates, or type media to actually have some content review and collaborate with different people. And really a big reminder, when you grant access or share a preview page with different people, you're not granting editing rights to modify the content of the article. Why did I mention Isabella? Because I know Isabella, as part of the IT security channel editor, would be able to actually lay down the foundation of the article. But if I would be requesting the same thing for somebody that is not a channel editor, they might be blocked and they cannot actually lay down the foundation. They will have to go with a Google Drive or Microsoft Word, and this is not something that we want to do. This is really something that you are able to leverage all the collaboration features directly from the studio, directly from the preview page. So if you're in this situation and you want subject matter expert to be part of this collaboration feature, you just need to add them temporarily as a channel editor to actually have access to the publication features. Good to know. You have also email notification for reviews. So all the notification for the moment are part of email notification. They are not part of the studio. They are not part of the push notification. They are really part of email notification. This is why it is very, very important to have email addresses for your users. And we cover for the moment English and German translation. So as you see over here, you have an example of the email notification that you are sending to Isabella. And you have also a preview page. How does it look like, to really, really reinforce you that you're not granting access to the studio environment, you're granting access to a preview page. This preview page is a draft article where they can see the article, they can see the media assets, and they have only editing rights into the content review over here with some approval rejection flow that could be directly added to the experience. Now, let's deep dive into a different planning features. I hope you understand how you navigate from planning to co-create, and we will go back to the planning just to highlight the editorial calendar. Editorial calendar is also a mission control feature, and we already have a glimpse of the editorial calendar. We will jump back into the Connect environment to show you how does it look like, a little bit more in depth. But there is two aspects of the editorial calendar. The first one is to provide you an insightful overview. So this overview will help you at a glance to really see all the planned content, all the overdue content, everything that has happened in the whole Staffbase studio and all the news channel that you're able to see. It allows editors to visualize really the content distribution, preventing content overload, and on specific days, and maximizing your reach by selecting the date and the hour of publication because you know best your audience. Editors can get also a comprehensive and yet manageable overview of all the planned content in accessible spaces and channels. It is really, really interesting to see this overview and how it calls you into making some action. And this is the second part of it. You are able to take action. You are able to actually add, edit, schedule posts directly from the editorial calendar. You are able also to view the campaigns that are active and not active. You can see the link between the news post and the campaign. You have the possibility to switch from a very operational view, from the weekly view to the monthly view. And I think I even heard some people talking about a yearly view. Let's see how it goes. And this is really, really also interesting. We are adding filters to break down the content based on spaces, channels. A little bit later also, I think we have a model for campaigns also as well. And you can really surface quick analytics. Just to show you in the slide deck that you can be reusing for your editorial team internally at your company, you have also a little bit more insight how to prepare to change. So if you have editors that are working with the old view, you can also use those slide decks to actually say, hey, this is the new user interface for mission control. Are we able to change it? Are we able to test it. And this will provide you also for your editorial team a little bit more insight before you switch or before you move from editorial calendar view. On the user permission view, this is something that is really, really super interesting because we are working very closely with already open beta customers, and I hope you're part of them. They are coming back to us to actually say, hey, we need a little bit more visibility. We are working in a most decentral organization, so we need different people to have access or different type of roles to have access. For the moment, the editorial calendar can be accessed by channel editors, space admin for their own content and their own channels. And the system-wide editors, managing editors and administrator, they have access to all the publications that are part of it. There is a mode on demand that we are really, really actively working on to full transparency. That is part of allowing all the editors to have a view only on all the plan and schedule news posts. That will definitely empower them to see the overall rhythm of communication and find the right place for their audience to post their important information. This makes important global announcement a little bit visible for your local editors. So this is really something that we are working on, and I'm even not sure if this is already part of it. So let's see into the show time for the editorial calendar. Let's go into the Staffbase environment and click back on. Of course, I need always to save my draft. This is something that is directly in my DNA to do this. I'm navigating back to the planning content. I can see directly the editorial view on the weekly view. This is the new user interface. You can see some hours of the day. Those hours are based on the Staffbase Studio where I'm located as an editor. So I'm located in Chemnitz, as you have seen on the map. So this is my hours of publication, and you just need to be sure where are your audience place, and you can basically just look at different time of publication directly from the day. You have a weekly view with Monday up until Sunday, which is super interesting also to block some of the information, and I can directly see something that is really, really wrong. On my side, I shouldn't be scheduling a post on Saturday, or somebody from my team shouldn't be scheduling a post on Saturday. I have directly a vision on what is going on very operationally during this week, and I have the possibility to act on it and actually say, I need to understand why this article was placed over there. And it's actually my mistake. I schedule it for Saturday, so I can definitely plan the publication for a different day. Now, let's move into the monthly view. On the monthly view, you have a little bit more insight about not only what is very operational during this week, so we are at the bottom of the screen over here because this is the end of the month, but we can go navigate from month to month and see all the different active campaigns that are going. I can see that my IT security is well noted over here, and I can even navigate really, really long in the future to actually see what is happening on the global level. I can see my diversity, inclusion, sustainability campaign, and employee branding are running super long, and I can definitely see which kind of articles are located in next to the campaign. Let's prove you right. Over here, I can see a lot of publication, and when we are looking at customer environment, when we are having calls, we look at a lot of different publications. Could be a little bit overcrowded, so that's why there will be some filters over here that you are able to select some different metrics. So you can have by space, you can have by channel, but this is really something that I want to show you how this work for the moment. I can select really one campaign and see the publication rhythm over the course of the month. And now one of the metrics that I would like to have for this campaign about sustainability is to have a publication, at least one publication per week. I can directly see on the monthly view that I'm nailing it. I have one publication over here, green, which is filtered to the green color of the campaign. And I can see that the rhythm of publication for my campaign is actually very good for the month of June. And then I can see directly from here that I'm missing a little bit of post. So maybe I have to open it a little bit. I have one post over here. There is the story of Lisa that is associated with the green color. This is why the color coded is super interesting here. I can see that summer is going green is also published for this one. Company implements is over there. And I can really see that I have maybe a little bit more publication associated with the campaign on this week. I can act on it, I can reschedule, I can discuss with different people, but this overview will help me during my editorial meeting to actually align with the team. We have too many campaigns, we have too many topics. Maybe we have to redesign when should we publish those different elements. And the editorial calendar will definitely help me to understand the rhythm of communication with my editorial team. I hope it was insightful to see a little bit more about the planning functionality. Planning is really editorial calendar and campaigns associated together. So please make good use of it, and let's try it, and let's do the last step of the mission control,
Maybe
which
one
is
quick thing. Sorry.
Yes,
Julian,
of course, Mike.
we're so in the flow. I didn't want to interrupt, but I think this is also a good spot to mention that the editorial calendar is, of course, step one of the features that we're rolling out for Mission Control. What we're also currently working on, and I mean, Julian, you already mentioned that the editorial calendar and the edits that we've made here are really about moving communicators out of this operational firefighting mode and into a more strategic headspace, giving you a better overview of everything that's going on. What we're actually creating in the background now already, and what will also be ready this year, is a completely new overview for strategic comms. A Gantt chart, you might be aware with what that looks like. What we're creating is something very, very similar. And what that's going to help us do is it's going to help us move campaigns even more into the focus. And you'll have a much, 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 much better, I mean, this is already a great overview, but you'll also have a much clearer, much better overview of not just your internal comms, but the exciting thing about Mission Control is also that we'll be able to add your external communications as well. So just wanted to add that there are more exciting things coming also in the space of planning.
Definitely, this is absolutely totally right. I know email are coming up also into the editorial calendar. I know external channels are coming also in the editorial calendar. There's really the 360 view, and I think there is this layer coming back from some feedback from our customers also to have not only campaigns but also those big topic initiatives that are going to be part of it. Thank you very much, Mike. I hope this overview will help you navigate first into the first planning and the co-creation part of Mission Control. The last one, I will need to start with the slides to go back to the measurement. This is the last bucket of it, and this is why we are doing all of this. Of course, we are there for planning, and we are not there to firefight. We are there to embrace the co-creation. But at the end of it, there is this outcome that we want to measure. And actually, we have some customers that are very, very interested into this measurement. So that's why you have a lot of slides that will be part of the smart impact information. We have also a lot of new things incoming. I think, Mike, you have the last slide to discuss about this one. But for the smart impact, this is really, really something that you need to embrace as a new world of analytics that is provided by Staffbase. The first thing is that Smart Impact allows you to measure the effectiveness of your campaign, not only one post, not only one news channel, but really coming from a topic perspective that we created during the planning to be able to measure the topic itself and the campaign itself on a different level. And this different level, I like to call it all the time, over time, over time, over time. This is really the metric that I'm looking for when I looked at Smart Impact the first time. It just really empowers you to move from the outputs to the outcomes by strategically measuring your campaign result. How does it look like? You first need to navigate to the studio, into the analytics studio, and you will directly see some information about those new dashboards. The first one that we want to be sure, it's only for system-wide roles. So editors, managing editors, and administrator have access to the Smart Impact. We're looking for a space administrator and channel editors, but for now they don't have access to the Smart Impact analytics, so they cannot see the analytics for their campaign, but we are looking at this based on the feedback of our customers. And you have a lot of guidance directly from the studio to how to help you interpret the data that is provided for you. So you can not trust my word, you can really trust also the support articles that are part of it, but directly into the studio. You have an onboarding guide for the mission control features that you can click on it, activate as you need. If you need a refresher, we will show you this directly into the studio. This is really something that you should be leveraging, and all of the tooltips also are helping you to understand the metrics that you're looking at. So this is really something that I want to emphasize, that you have the possibility to look. And now we can go back to the demo environment. I will navigate from the planning view to the analytics. One very important thing when you're starting campaigns and you're creating campaigns, the result of the Smart Impact cannot be accessed on the same day. So first of all, you have to lay down the foundation, and then 24 hours later, you have the possibility to access on the overview of the campaign page all the information about the campaign that you just created one day before. So once you have the overview, you have the possibility to look at the performance, comparing different campaign with the visibility that you can sort, and also by engagement and number of posts associated with the campaign. And this tab over here is not accessible for all other roles than the system-wide people. Let's dive now into one campaign that I already started with a lot of posts, and I want to navigate to the new insights. Once you click this little arrow, you have the first overall metric that will go into the visibility with the tooltip that is associated with it. So you can really see the first information is your number over here for performance of the week, but also looking at the trend that is happening compared to 7 days ago. So you really have to navigate from the different perspective that you have over here to actually see what means what. The first three are visibility, engagement, and net sentiment score. And if you scroll down on the screen, you will get the detail of the whole trending over time about the visibility, about the engagement over time, and about the comment sentiment over time. Those are the first big three dashboards, and they are all associated with a second dashboard that is the breakdown based on user group with the highest and lowest rate. You have the possibility to see also the engagement by user group, and the last one will be because of the comment sentiment over time is not linked to post specifically, but really to all the comments that are associated with the campaigns. Here, the breakdown is really the sentiment by post that will help you navigate directly to the post that have some negative or neutral comment, so you can actually act on it with the comment moderation feature. Now, let's go over the visibility and engagement. Those are the two best ones that we have. The first one that I want to show you is all the tooltips that we'll find directly by hovering directly on the metric. The visibility is really, really why we think Smart Insight is really, really interesting for the campaigns. And once you have all the articles locked into a campaign, you are able to measure the performance of each post, but you're also able to measure the performance of the visibility of the campaign. So you can see how many of your audience have viewed at least one post, at least two posts, at least three posts, and all of this based on metrics that are collected daily. And with this trend, you are able to actually course correct the performance of your campaign. You have the possibility to have the insight about the user groups, which groups are the best one performing with the highest and lowest rate. For the moment, it's limited to 12 posts, but you will add more filtering and sorting and comparing with user groups. And on the engagement level, you will see the percentage of the engagement based on all the posts that are published. So, of course, we are going to the higher rank for all those posts, but you will see that we need to actually look at how they behave all together to actually understand that the visibility topic and the engagement are very linked together. So there is a lot of feedback already processed by our team to actually improve those analytics, to make analytics that are speaking to comms people. Some of the prerequisites, you will find them directly into the slides that are associated with it. So the first foundation is that you have to create campaign to actually generate your smart impact information. You will find different metrics explained directly with visibility, engagement, and sentiment score. You have also access to the support articles to help you navigate with the metrics that we are proposing. And one of the last slide that I have before I give back the microphone to Mike is really lay down with you the foundation of how you can leverage mission control as of now. You are using the open beta that is open for all our existing customers of App Intranet. You have the possibility to actually act on it directly today without any impacting your audience. It's really gathering information, how your team is working, selecting actually also all the different tech stack that you have existing, and see if there is an opportunity to replace some of those tools, because Staffbase embodied already some of the use case that you want. But before that, we want to start very, very light. So we want to make you use campaigns and editorial calendar, lay down your key topics, gather about your performance, look at the different metrics that you have for all the different topics that you have already generated and that you are creating. It takes just a few minutes to actually collect all the articles that are already published into this campaign. So I hope you made it the best of it. You just wait 24 hours for the data to process, and you already have some insight about your own comms performance. You can start conversation with different stakeholders. You can see how you would be a force to actually drive conversation about comms topic and comms performance. And if you are starting using campaigns, then do it for all the information and all the publication that you will be doing for the rest of the year. This is really something free to use for the moment. So I'm happy to get your feedback, and please provide your feedback and your ideas, how we can support you. This is the goal of the open beta for product managers and for all of us at Staffbase, to actually generate a lot of feedback about those features to be on point when we want to launch mission control for all our customers. Thank you very much. I will hand over to Mike.
Cool. Perfect. So yeah, lots of, as I mentioned earlier, also there's a lot of very, very interesting and exciting improvements also coming in the next couple of months. I've seen the product roadmap, and it really does look great. And one of those improvements that's coming for the next version of Mission Control is actually the alignment survey. Julien just went through Staffbase Smart Impact. We saw that we already have 3 new innovative metrics in there. We have visibility, we have engagement, and then we also have the AI-powered sentiment analysis. But the future vision that we're going to bring to life by end of the year is really this kind of workflow that you see here on the screen. So what we really want to do is we want to enable the targeted measurement of communication. And if you remember when Julien set up the campaign in the Staffbase demo environment earlier, he added, for example, a goal or almost like a benchmark to the campaign, which was just in text form. What we're doing in the next iteration is, for example, also you're able to create a campaign with the target definition and also target KPIs. So we're calling that whole flow smart campaign, which should be available either towards end of the year or beginning of the next. And what then the really interesting thing that then happens is in the next step, so in this middle screen that you see here, we measure not only with quantitative performance metrics, so for example, visibility and engagement, But what we really want to empower you to do is measure, for example, also alignment, which is qualitative data. So we're introducing these alignment surveys. We've introduced sentiment analysis, and we'll also give you deeper insights into the general perception on certain topics, on certain campaigns of your target groups. And we bring all of these together, not just on a campaign level, but really centrally for the entire communication strategy. What is an alignment survey? An alignment survey is just a simple question that you add to a campaign. So you create the campaign, you add one alignment question to this campaign, and this question can then be toggled on and off for every content piece that you publish. So as employees are reading through different content pieces about sustainability, you could, for example, say, how strongly do you believe that sustainability is the future of our company? And you can add that to every content piece that you want to add it to. Employees can then fill that out. And what that really gives you is, since you're using the same question over time across a variety of different content pieces, you have a much clearer overview of, first of all, how are your employees feeling about a certain topic, a certain campaign. You can really keep your finger on the pulse of your organization. But then you can also track, how does that develop over time on a content piece level? Which content pieces are performing very well? Which content pieces might be extremely sensitive and might not be performing well? So giving you a much deeper insight of what employees really think about the things that you talk about in a way that's completely new for our market and for our industry. You might ask yourself now, is this something that employees will actually use? We had a closed beta before this beta program, and the feedback from the early adopters actually enabled us to achieve a 35x higher engagement. So up to 35x, have to obviously add that. So up to 35 more engagement using our internal Staffbase alignment surveys versus just regular app and internet comments. Because you might also say, if I want to hear employee feedback, why don't I just ask them to comment? We've seen that these alignment surveys perform extremely well compared to regular app and internet comments. And the feedback so far has been that this is partly due to the anonymity of this survey. So you're not showing up anywhere with your name or your profile picture. So no one can really track down the submission. You can freely really state your opinion. And this also makes sure that whatever scores you're collecting via the alignment surveys are actually the scores and the beliefs of the employees. So with that, that's coming soon. And then maybe we can just skip to the next slide. We, of course, didn't think of all of these features on our own, and especially not without testing them. I just mentioned the early adopter program, which we ran. We conducted this pilot program with some of our leading brands in our portfolio. Some of those were, for example, Walgreens, Aldi, Alaska Airlines, and also Mubea. And what this has really helped us do is fine-tune the product to make sure that it meets the needs of our enterprise customers, and that it's that mission control really helps generate value for all of you. So if we take Walgreens, for example, we can see here that there's a quote from a campaign manager. And when we first introduced them to Smart Impact, for example, this campaign manager was super excited. First of all, it took away a lot of the work of manually having to consolidate post content performance across all of these different types of posts. Everything was aggregated, consolidated, easy to use. But second of all, it also really helped. So Smart Impact also really helped prove the value of one of their main strategic initiatives during a difficult time for the company. And what the campaign manager did was, during this difficult time, there was a discussion with senior leadership about whether or not they should continue to do a certain campaign. They were able to use the campaign performance metrics that they got from Smart Impact to really prove that this was having a positive impact. Senior leadership thought it was having a negative impact. And because of Smart Impact, this campaign still ran and was actually a super successful campaign for Walgreens. So great to see that the products that we're building are being adopted and generating value. And with that, I think we're at the end. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone that watched. Hope this is helpful. Thank you also to Julien for the great run through. If you do have any questions, never hesitate to reach out. Reach out to your CSMs. Myself and Julien are also available to be involved in any of those conversations. So yeah, never hesitate to reach out. And with that, I think we can end it here. Thanks.